doom and gloom music just in time for your summer getaways.
Yeah, our favorite infectious disease specialist, Dr. Thomas Rushton, is here now to ruin everybody's plans for the summer. And no, just kidding.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Thank you for stopping by. No, this is how to avoid the problems. Actually, that's the whole point of this. We're talking about things like hotel pools and hot tubs.
That's
right. Not all of them are created equal.
They are not. Absolutely not. And the CDC is always monitoring these kinds of things. They issued a report. It's very, very telling. And so we're right in that season, June through August.
Yep, it's here.
Is where we're going to see the majority of these outbreaks, these waterborne illnesses, which we expect because we're outdoors. It's warm and so on.
Absolutely. Now, what kind are we talking about? Because they range from a whole host of things, right?
Right. So the biggie is called Cryptosporidium. We just call it crypto for short.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It is actually a human parasite. It's found in animals as well, but we see it in this water, and here's the kicker: it doesn't. It actually resists the chlorine in the water.
Oh, it does. So the chlorine won't have an impact. They can check it all they want.
And eventually it will, but it can still survive for 7 days.
There it is.
While in the water.
Yikes.
Okay. So, one of the things I always tell people is when look before you leave. See there's a sign. See who's monitoring the pool, how are they checking, and so on. I can tell you in the tri-state area, the 2 pools that I have no problem whatsoever getting into would be the YMCA pools. They monitor those. They follow the CDC guidelines. They are very careful. And actually, the pool at Camp Arrowhead, the Boy Scouts of America, also do a very, very good job of monitoring.
And that's what it takes, right?
That's what it takes. Now, there's something we have a responsibility as well, especially when it comes to Cryptosporidium. We have our little ones. They want to get in the water.
How does it get in the water, Cryptosporidium?
Well, basically, what we have is diarrhea.
I knew he was going to go there.
Yep.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
It's always a problem, right? Yep.
And so a pool that says we don't worry about swim diapers, we don't care about that, that is not a pool you want to jump into.
Right.
Yeah, don't go in there. Yeah.
Right. And if your child actually is having diarrhea, don't get them in the water.
Home.
Be a good parent and don't put them in there.
Poor little ones should be home anyway with diarrhea.
Right.
So if we do all that, we're going to cut out, I don't know, almost 60% of these processes, okay? But we got 2 others we got to talk about. One is Pseudomonas aeruginosa. That's a long word. If you've ever had your ears pierced, you'll get a consent. I had to do this for my daughter, and it said they misspelled it, and I thought, I cannot believe that I'm actually going to provide consent. For my daughter's otherwise healthy. Her earlobes are perfect. I mean, do I really want to risk Pseudomonas? But this is a beautiful bug. If you really appreciate
it does look pretty.
If you really appreciate the microbial zoo, as it were, this is a bacteria that can survive so much. It can live with very, very little, and it takes advantage of what it has, and it has multiple redundancies, and so it'll actually live in water without too much trouble.
It really does look like a sea creature.
It does, doesn't it? And it makes a nice. It can make a nice slime layer as well. Well, I wouldn't go that far. And for most people, what they're going to see is they get in the hot tub, and we've talked about this before. If there's a hot tub, chlorine is just going to evaporate because it's hot.
Okay.
You need to have a bromine type of sterilizer or something else that's approved specifically for hot tubs. And there's several products out there. And again, you want to see when you're at that hotel and so on, what does that water look like?
Right.
I mean, if you find there are leaves and dead frogs in there, I mean,
that's probably your cue.
You don't really want to be in that, right? But there are people who will go in there. There'll be Pseudomonas in the water. It'll get on the skin, and you'll get a rash. Okay. In general, antihistamines. Some people in days gone past would say use vinegar, and I still think for some that may be reasonable. If you think about the product that's used to prevent swimmer's ear, it's the same kind of thing. It's a vinegar type of product. Okay. So we can do that. But there's one more bug.
Is this the worst one?
Yeah, this is the worst one of all because it can actually kill. All these others are really nuisance oriented, and nobody wants diarrhea, for example. But Legionella.
Oh yes, right.
And Legionella can live in hot water. And it's, I'll never forget, I was a...
And this is related to Legionnaire's disease?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
That's precisely what it is. And years ago when I was lecturing medical students in medical school, I had a very astute student ask me, well, if it lives inside of our human cells, how does it live in water?
That's a good one. Yeah. How do they?
Well, amoeba.
Okay.
So it lives inside of amoeba, and then the water is hot. Okay, you turn the hot tub on, and what do you get? You get steam rising up.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are somebody who's immunosuppressed, immunocompromised, you can breathe this in, and you will develop a pneumonia. Now, it turns out that probably somewhere between 50 to 70% of the time, it's self-limiting, even that situation.
I see.
But you know, if you're already taking, you know, you've had a transplant, so on and so forth, your doctor has told you, your nurse practitioner told you, you know, your immune system isn't really all that good, you might want to avoid the hot tub.
Yeah, and this is a good point too, because I think a lot of times we automatically look at busy pools, ones where there's a lot of maybe kids or a lot of people in general in them, but not necessarily the case. Even if you're doing like an Airbnb where you might be the only people there and there's a hot tub, this is still something you need to watch out for.
Because you don't know who was in it before, and you don't know how, you know, as far as the tenant is concerned, or as far as the landowner is concerned, the hotel owner or the Airbnb owner, you don't know how they're treating. So is it, I mean,
is it worth asking?
Is it worth asking them? Say, hey, are you treating for this?
I think it's absolutely worth asking. I mean, what, you know, you talk to the proprietor, what do you do to maintain your hot tubs and your pools? How do you handle it?
I'm going to have to start doing that.
And so don't ask them if they put X and Y in.
No.
Just
ask
what
them
they
how they
do.
maintain
what they do.
See if they put X and Y. See if they know the.
Right. If they say, oh, well, we're aware of the CDC guidelines and we follow them. But again, remember, even if you follow the CDC guidelines, there will never be enough chlorine to kill the cryptosporidium. So you got to be careful about it.
So if they say we clean it once a year, don't worry. It's time to worry.
You might want to go someplace else.
Good idea. All right. Hey, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Good advice.
Be safe out there.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, we've got some tips.